Rightio, still in Sydney, BackChat, powered by Fleet Network. We love them. Thank you very much, Fleet Network.
Thanks, Fleet Network.
We are privileged to be joined by, look, I think top 3 player in the AFL, got to be said. I've said that in mainstream, but no one really cares what I have to say over there. We are joined by the captain of the GWS, Toby Greene. Mate, how are you?
Good, boys. How you going? Thanks for having me.
Very good.
Thanks for coming.
How's that extra hot coffee going over there?
It's good. No, it's good. Yeah, Roberto's done a good job.
What did you say? What did you say? You got a burnt tongue.
I got drinking too much tea over the years. I need them really hot. Yeah.
How good. I just
the tongue of an 80-year-old.
Couldn't love it anymore. Now, we start every episode the same, Toby. I know you're a big fan of BackChat, but I'll just in case you haven't listened to any episodes, we ask the same question to our guests right off the top.
Yeah.
We know you're a good player, right? I've just said top 3 player in my mind. You've won best and fairest. You've been inaugural GWS. You're a captain of an AFL side, right? We know you. That's great. But I want to tell you we don't care. Off the top, all right? We know you're a good football player, right? I've played on you. You're fucking good, okay? But to start, I want to know your greatest sporting achievement, not on the football field, right? Footy players can play footy. Yeah, good. Good on you.
Kick a ball, mark it, whatever.
Correct. Dan Const, 5 for 16.
Yeah. Grand final, cricket match.
Bowling absolute pies.
Also, javelin, handy with that.
Yeah, I heard that yesterday.
Yeah.
You're a javelin thrower, you reckon?
Yeah.
I was an 80-metre hurdle champion as an under-9, state champion.
Yeah, right. That's good.
Yeah, very good. What have you got? I know you've got something. He strikes me as a player, a person that's just good at
little laughs. I reckon there's some little laughs.
I reckon he's something more rogue, dart champion or something.
Well, I still play it to this day. We have a it's probably not my greatest, but it's what means the most to me.
Good.
My Red Rockets team, I'm captain of that. We play it Boxing Day every year. It's 11-on-11 soccer game against my other best mate who's captain of the Blue Sonics.
Wow.
And it's 6-all, so we've played for 12 years now.
Wow.
And pretty much don't talk to them for like the week leading into it and the week after. So New Year's are always Red Rocket New Year's isn't Blue Sonics New Year's.
Wow.
Means a lot. Gets heated. And yeah, we got done last year 2-1. Brought it back to 6-all. Full field,
size?
yeah. We get my stepdad's umpired a couple of times and he's given up because too much abuse. And then so we try and get people to umpire, but no one's putting their hand up anymore. But
is it the same teams every year?
Teams, yeah.
Is there ins and outs?
There's ins and outs. I've had to drop a few, yeah. But yeah, I'm happy with the team at the moment. We just didn't perform last year.
Where do you play? You put yourself forward or?
No, not many of the boys can get up and down the field, so I'll have to play centre mid.
So I think the Red Rockets.
Yeah.
And the Blue
Sonics.
That's bloody unreal.
So screw the Origin.
This is bigger.
This trumps it.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Toby Green's great. The captain, captain, coach.
Yeah, captain, coach, and motivational speaker.
Unreal. So where do you play that? Back home?
Yeah, just at a park in Glen Iris. Yeah.
Unreal. So there you go. Toby Green's greatest sporting achievement, not on the football field. What about your first car? We asked people our first car stories. So Fleet Network powering the podcast this year. Novated leasing. Tell you what, if you need a car, you go and see them. They'll sort you out. fleetnetwork.com.au. What was your first car? Can you remember it?
Yeah, I can. It was a I didn't have a car when I got drafted. I didn't have my license, so I got it up here. It was Subaru Outback.
Subaru Outback.
Yeah,
nice.
It was,
colour?
Grey. Oh, my brother's still got it actually. It's I don't know how it's still going. But it's not like it's pretty much not. But he really drove it into the ground.
Was it manual? Was it old? Was it new when you got it?
No, I would have been a 2001 probably model.
Unreal.
Like
how'd you get around then when you got drafted without?
Jesse Cameron and he had to drive me everywhere. We were living in Breakfast Point.
Yeah, you guys had so you're in the inaugural GWS side. You were living in it was like a village.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it is. It's like a sort of like a retirement sort of village, but we were all 18. Yes, they didn't love us, but it was good fun though. Well, that year we had 30, 18-year-old sort of boys who got drafted all together, so it was different, very different to what anyone else probably who gets drafted will ever experience.
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit, but I want to take you further back. Your upbringing as a kid. What was it, mate? Were you was it a sporty family? Was it bouncing from footy to athletics to basketball? What do you reflect on growing up?
Yeah, our footy was a huge part of it. Dad sort of was old De La Salle, played down there and was a bit of a like club legend down there. So I remember every Saturday afternoon going down to watch them at Dairy Bell Park, and that was a huge part of my childhood. Still got a few mates who I used to do that with every Saturday. And basketball athletics were also pretty big at the time. Basketball was big back in the day. I used to think I was pretty good, but no one believes me at the club. My girlfriend's a really good basketballer, so I'll try and tell her.
So you're the second best basketballer in your family?
Yeah, well, she's actually very good, yeah.
You ran the point?
Yeah, well, she
sounds
does.
of it.
Yeah, she's a point guard. Good shooter, good handles. Facilitator, she calls herself.
Yeah.
So, growing up, Wesley College boy, from what I've seen, tell me if I'm wrong or speaking out of point. Your mum worked her ass off to get your kids a great upbringing, great school.
Yeah, she did. She was huge for us growing up, and I got two younger brothers who were similar to me. We weren't the best behaved teenagers or kids, so it was hard work for her, no doubt. So I went to Wesley from year 7. I was lucky enough to. One of my best mates' dads was head of sport, so he gave me a half scholarship, so that was good. Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Well, he looks like a genius now.
Well, yeah, he's probably the only one that sort of or what he thought was potential back then. I'd never made a rep team till I was 17, 18. So, but we had Wesley was great fun. A lot of my best mates from there still, and we had a bloody good footy team as well.
You look like a competitor. I've played on you, see you play. Your biggest attribute looks like your determination, your competitiveness. Does that come from mum, dad, both?
Oh, a bit of both, I think. Yeah, definitely a bit of both. I think mum's certainly got some mongrel in it.
That's bloody good. So growing up, you're Wesley College. Look, I was in the APS as well. You were always pretty shit when I was going through.
We were, yeah.
Were you a forward growing up? You're playing forward now, but I know you came to the AFL, you're a midfielder. What were you when you were going through your school years?
I was actually...
Don't tell me you're back.
I was,
No.
When we won the flag, I played half back the whole year.
Who won the flag?
Wesley, when I was in that team, because we had good midfielders.
Because they're giving out scholarships.
Yeah, we were.
You're a backman.
I played half back the whole season.
Does that hurt you?
No, not at all, mate. He's top 3 player in the AFL.
He's converted.
But they don't put the best players back there, mate. That's why. So you're a backman.
Yeah.
That's rocked me.
It rocked me as well. I wanted to be a midfielder. But yeah, so and under 15s as well, I reckon I did as well. So
it's all making sense. This is where you learnt your trade, mate. Do you understand that? You're a good player now, but you learnt how to do it in the back line, mate.
Yeah, I did. I haven't been back there pretty much since that. It was a bit of everything growing up, yeah.
Yeah, that's great, mate. Okay, so Wesley College premiership player. You get drafted, like you said, inaugural team for GWS. A few boys were there already, though, right? Like you weren't in the intake of lads that were playing in the VFL.
No, they were. There was like the pre-drafted or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, there's a few of those, like Jezza, Tom Bug, Dylan Shield, Trelaw.
Yeah.
So they'd already been there a year playing, which would have been grim, playing in the VFL.
Yeah. We've spoken to both Gold Coast and GWS lads that were in that. Did we speak from GWS?
Charlie Dixon.
No, Gold Coast. Did we speak to a GWS lad in the same? I feel like
I don't know about GWS. Definitely Gold Coast. Yeah.
Nick, have a look who we've spoken to. I feel like we're speaking to a GWS inaugural maybe, but playing VFL did you speak to those lads? Like that would have been, like I said.
Well, they loved it at the time, but like looking back, it would have. I don't know, just like moving away from home, playing VFL. You're 17.
Yeah.
You're not going to school. Like most of them should have been in year 12. Like they're doing school up here. They wouldn't have known anyone. It would have been tough, but like they all loved it at the time, but they didn't know any better.
Yeah.
So it would have been tough, but yeah, after that first year, I guess it felt real once we were entering the AFL.
So you got drafted with Stephen Cornelio, Nick Haynes, who are both with you still, but guys like Jonathan Patton, Don Tyson, Will Hoskin-Elliott, Taylor Adams, they're all in your GWS intake, aren't they?
Yeah, Dev Smith, Adam Kennedy was who's still here. Yeah, so yeah, we're the big crop. Yeah.
Do you look back at your time at the start there, like as young blokes, this young build of 18-year-olds, and think it was like a good thing? Like, what are your reflections on that time?
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, it was like, as I said, it was just really different. Like, I guess like, even see the boys who come through now who get drafted, or speaking of guys that I was friends with in year 12 who got drafted, like our experience was so much different to what anyone else would have had. We also, yeah, there wasn't really any expectations. Like, we weren't going to be a good team. Like, it was sort of boys have fun, build some camaraderie, go out every Saturday together. Like, it was pretty much encouraged, like, because they just wanted everyone to get close, and no one was from Sydney. So, yeah, it was different. It was a different experience, but yeah, I had a ball. I loved it.
Did you feel like you were building a footy club? Because that's what you're doing.
Well, yeah, we did, and like, I guess we all, we thought, I thought I was pretty confident we were going to be a good team in time. The second year maybe was a bit harder because I think we only won one game, and probably thought we'd be a bit better than the first year, and we weren't. But then I guess from the third year onwards, that's where we started to get a lot of growth year by year, and yeah, it was great fun.
Adam Treloar was the
Yes.
man we spoke to. I knew we'd spoken to someone at GWS. Can you remember moments and things in those first few years where, like, I don't know, learning the team song, or like things that, like, these are things that you guys created, right? Like, I don't know, the locker rooms,
Well, like, I guess when we first started going to schools in our first year, we had Izzy Folau.
Yes.
And literally, like, we'd go to schools in Penrith or Liverpool or whatever. They wouldn't know what AFL was. Like, they knew who Izzy Folau was, but they actually wouldn't know what the sport was. So, like, it's changed a lot. Like, in the last 12 years, you go out to schools now, and there's big, like, sort of clubs in the Western Sydney and Ingleburn Magpies or Penrith. They got a lot of kids playing AFL. So I've seen the growth, and there's still a lot to go. But literally, they didn't know what the sport was when I first started.
So you get out there with a footy and they'll be going, what?
No,
what
they're like, is this a rugby sevens or something like
that? Your first 50 games, you won 5 games. Like I said, that's tough.
Yeah.
Like, you would have come from winning as a schoolboy, junior footy, and then first 50 games, you win five games.
Yeah, well, yeah, as I said, like, the first year wasn't really any expectation. We probably knew we were going to get beaten pretty well the first year.
Yeah.
Second year, we thought maybe we might, but it was actually harder. Like, we were struggling a fair bit. And then, yeah, the third year, I guess we started to become a bit more competitive week by week and challenge some teams. But yeah, I mean, it was tough, but also sort of knew what was happening.
Yeah.
And we could see that. I'm talking on behalf of myself. I thought we were going to be a good team. Just had to keep working on our craft and getting better.
Your list has, like, been a transitional one, right? Like, you've had blokes coming in and out for the entire time you've been there. Like, what's kept you here? Because a lot of boys have left.
Yeah, a lot of boys have left, but, like, I think the way the club was set up, it was always going to happen like that. We just had an abundance of talent, really, and you can't keep it all. There's probably a few along the journey you would have loved to keep, but we feel like, I mean, it was sort of how the club was set up. Why I don't know. I just always believed that. I thought we were going to be a good team, and I was really enjoying my footy, and really, I got a lot of close mates, and love Sydney, and I just, I never really wanted to get back home, or never really appealed too much to me, to be honest. I know some people that's a lot different, so it's just sort of how I went about it.
Is there, like, a loyalty element, or is that not a thing? Like,
well,
they gave you your chance? No.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But I feel like if I, when we're challenging, if I am hopefully challenging the next few years, but if I win one here, I just feel like it'd be, one of the greatest thing I could do. So that's sort of why, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I see what you boys have built, and like you said, you're a backman to start with, but you come into those first few years and you're a midfield, like, you're a proper ball winning midfielder. Like, you haven't, I reckon in your first year you had 40 touches maybe.
Yeah,
Backmen don't do that, mate.
Yeah, they were
No.
scrappy. They would have been little kicks from packs. There wasn't too much polish about them, but I mean, it's something I've always been good at. Never struggled to find in the footy. It's just, growing up as a kid is something that I was good. That was my one wood.
You had some senior players in that group, though. Stevie Johnson, one of those blokes. Not that early days, but he came to the footy club after Geelong, right?
Yeah, he came 2016. So
Did he have a big impact on your career?
yeah, it's huge. Well, I guess that was 2016 when I started, really sort of coming into my own as a forward. He was a huge part of that and teaching me a lot, probably more about mindset than actual craft.
Yeah, right.
Just installing, I was starting to get, a really good shutdown defender every week, trying to make sure you own that and beat him thinking, probably trying to pump myself up, or he was trying to make sure that I thought that he could be the player. I've stuffed that up, but
You could be the player that
he thought I could be the player that I was.
right.
And he always would challenge me and say, "Oh, he beat you." It's just stuff like that. I just found him really good, and wasn't as much footy craft that that you see on the TV from him. It was more, that sort of stuff.
Because I've played on him a few times and he's absolutely bathed me. So have you, to be quite frank. And he was always sort of like a ball-winning midfielder, but just this crazy forward craft guy. So it's surprising that it wasn't more about craft, but more about mindset, like the mentality of it.
Yeah. I guess as I said, sort of each week, who's going to have a job to try and stop you and make sure you own that, and little things that you can do to beat him, but more so owning that and making sure you get, the right result. There's lots of craft stuff along the way, but I feel like that's what he benefited me most for. And
what about that core group of lads that you were brought in those early days? Like Stephen Canello jumps out as the biggest name or guy you've played the most footy with. Do you have pretty special bond with him?
Yeah, definitely. Cog's one of my best mate, and along with Wardy, Johnny Patton early days, Dom Tyson. We spent a lot of time together. Pretty much at each other's apartment every night first couple of years. So
good FIFA players.
Cogs is good.
Just imagine 18-year-olds. What are you doing? You're playing PlayStation more than likely.
Yeah, big FIFA comps. Yeah. We spent a lot of time together. Travelled heaps together as well. We've formed a great relationship over the 12 years.
I think there's a lot of comparisons between GWS and Gold Coast, just given you both come into the game at similar times. Spoke about the 5 wins in 50 games, but pretty much post that, you guys have had real success. Like you had a period, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, where you went prelim final, semi-final, grand final. I don't know if it's like that here, but I think certainly in the wider community, people probably don't appreciate that period of success you guys had. Do you think lessons learned along the way in that first part build you into that, along with talent? Like, how do you reflect on that period? Like, that's a sustained period of success, prelim finals and grand finals.
Yeah. I mean, 2016 sort of came. It sort of happened really quickly. If you had asked halfway through 2016, I think, and what a lot of people might say is we were probably the best team in 2016 by the end of it. We felt like we stuffed up the prelim, and Bulldogs were bloody good on the day, but we played Swans 2 weeks earlier and really touched them up, and they were probably the best team at the time. So it happened really quickly, like from halfway through 2016 and then after 2016, it doesn't just happen. Like we just, we thought we'd be a chance to have a crack at it every year, and that's what we trained for, and we were going really hard over that time. They're just hard to win, and like Richmond were bloody good. 2017, 19, we limped into a grand final. Looking back on it, I don't think we were ever going to win it. Hearing what some of the boys were playing with, but it was a great time. Like, it's that's what you play footy for, trying to win finals and put yourself in position to win a premiership. But I guess maybe at the time I didn't realise how hard it was to make finals and win finals. You know, now I realise that we had a bloody good team. We just it was a great time to play footy, and as I said, it was just they're hard to win.
Yeah, bloody oath.
In those first couple of years when they were sort of going out and just saying, just get out there, have fun, bond and get together and stuff like that. At what point did that transition to like, okay, like we're ready to start actually making some noise? Because obviously 2016 that first time, but was that the first year or was it leading up to it?
Yeah, I think maybe 2015 we won, I don't know, maybe 10 games and we weren't quite good enough. But from probably halfway through 2016, I was like, oh, like we're pretty good actually. Like we might be a chance to have a crack at it. So it's probably and then the last 8 weeks of 2016 we were playing some really good footy and ended up finishing top 4. And that's probably when it started and happened quicker than what I thought it was going to. If you had asked me the 2016 at the start of it, but for that next 4 or 5 year period, we were solid.
Bit of pressure then, right? Like if it happens a bit early, then everyone's expecting it. Like you make finals 1 year, then the natural progression is like you get better and you keep winning more and more games. Is that like a hard thing to handle then if it happens too early, that you got to sort of deal with pressure to keep winning and winning and winning?
Yeah, I think I probably struggled a little bit with that at times. Like, it was like the be all and end all for a few years there, and it would determine my mood. And really was fixated on making sure we're the best team we could be. A lot more. I feel like I'm a lot more relaxed these days. But there was a lot of pressure, and we had some shocking runs with injuries as well, which didn't help 2017, I reckon. And 2018, but there was certainly pressure there, and we thought we were in a position to challenge. So it just comes with it.
What about you personally, mate? What makes you a good AFL player? If you reflect on yourself, I know you probably don't like talking about yourself, but if you had to go, well, it's my skill, it's my attitude, it's my mentality. Like what stands you apart as a good player? What's the most important?
I think my attitude. I think I've tried to. I reckon I'm really competitive. And sort of got a good understanding of what I need to do, when I need to do it. I think as a forward, you put a lot of emphasis on trying to get the best out of myself and beat my opponent every week, and then sort of the craft stuff comes with it. I reckon if my attitude's good, then all the other stuff sort of happens instinctively, especially as a forward. I think I've always worked hard, trained hard, put myself in a position to get the best out of myself. But I think that's been what's helped me along the way.
I reckon some people would describe you as a big game player, a big moment player. You've been in a lot of big moments, kick goals when goals need to be kicked, big marks, just big moments. Does that resonate with you? Like, do you agree, or is it just you're just playing footy?
Yeah, no, it's not something I'd try and be known for or agree with. It's just that's putting myself in a position to impact the contest as much as I can, really. And when the stakes are higher, you feel like you need to get involved even more. But it's especially in fly once you're in the game and it's close games or things like that. You're just playing instinctively, and it's really it's enjoyable.
Do you have favourite moments across the journey, like moments in games, or are you sort of guy that's going week to week, doesn't look back? What's I'm assuming playing in grand finals, prelim wins.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly the highlights of my career, the club, and to get a crack at it. Yeah.
What was going on the plane? I want to know more about the plane.
Well, I don't know if you remember that video of Amon Buchanan in the when he goes like that to the Collingwood fans. There's good vision of it. It's one of the best videos of all time.
Yes, this is assistant coach Amon Buchanan from the coach's box.
So I think the Collingwood fans had been giving it to all the coaches in the box in the last 10 minutes because Collingwood were coming really hard, and the coaches were trying to coach and just ignoring it. obviously when the siren went, just an outpouring of emotion. And so like everyone's on the plane like reenacting it. It was so funny. And just like everyone else on the plane, like or just the general public, like that they were sort of joining in with it. And the pilot was, getting around us, and it felt like really real. Like it was like wow, like and landed in Sydney and huge media and stuff like that. Like we don't really have that. So I was like, wow, this is what it's all about. It was it was great.
Do you reflect now, during your career still, you've got opportunities to do it again, but, I know you said that you weren't, you injured, you had injuries, all of that, not much of a chance, but do you look back as a missed opportunity? I mean, you don't get to play in grand finals every year, do you?
Yeah, no, not. Oh, it is a missed opportunity. I just think Richmond were better than us. Like, I think we would have struggled. Yeah, no matter. But I think all those years we would have liked to played in them the years before that and didn't get to. So it's definitely a missed opportunity. But it is what it is, and keep moving forward, and hopefully can build again in the next couple of years and have another crack at it.
Richmond are pretty dominant in that grand final. How do you the following in regular season? If you're getting smacked, you can just next game we can come back. But when it's the last game, your last opportunity, how do you 3/4 time or something? How are you still motivated to keep playing?
I'll probably blurt it out the second half. Obviously it was it was after the game I was pretty shattered and pretty flat, and I had a big month in the media just with a few tribunal appearances and then the grand final going like that, and I was just I was a bit not sick of footy. I was just like, fuck, I need to switch off. I just wanted, I was going to Europe. I went to Europe with Cogs a week later, and I think that was the best thing I could have done because I just got away from footy for a month. I just needed to switch off, and certainly, really shattered after the game and how it went. And, I felt embarrassed losing like that. But, I guess going away, that sort of helps when you're a week later drinking Peronis in Lake Como, things come back to you.
Do you just stay away from footy and once the season ends, are you the sort of person that needs to not pick up a ball for a long time, or do you like to just sort of get straight back into it?
Big traveller.
Yeah, I love my travel. No, I wouldn't say I don't pick up a ball. I love to go away. I've pretty much gone away every year and do something. I like exercise though. I really enjoy working out. So not weights, but just doing exercise.
No one likes weights.
Some boys love it. I just can't have it. But no, I guess going away is what I really enjoy and get it just energises me, I guess.
Talking about that period of success, just to take us away from footy a little bit, sort of in footy, 2016, 17, 18, 19. I don't know where it's sat. It can't have been 18. May have been 19, may have been 17. GWS knocked West Coast out of the finals. You might be able to remember better than me. It was at your home.
17, I reckon.
I reckon it could have been 17. I was emergency that game. You wouldn't know too much about it, but I was the most dropped player in West Coast history. So I spent a bit of time watching on from the sidelines. But I was emergency a lot. So I was travelling emergency that week. Big game, elimination final. We weren't good enough to win it that year. We'd sort of got there. I think we won in overtime or something the week before against Port Adelaide. Got to you boys. You boys rolled us, completely smashed us. I reckon you kicked 10 goals. I would have stopped you, but you had a big day. Anyway, I found myself in the stands. So some away trips you get you're in the box with the coaches. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you get a cordoned off area. GWS, they just say in you go.
General admission.
In you go, in your kit. So you're in full kit. All right. So GWS at the time, you guys are going really well. It's a big fan base. All in orange, stand out like a sore thumb in West Coast gear, right? So it was me and Chris Marston in the stands. He was emergency as well, both going terrifically. And we're sitting in the middle, it's not even a protected. We're literally just walk up into the stands and find a seat and sit down.
So that's my seat, mate.
Seriously, find a seat. Anyway, we're just sitting there minding our own business. To be honest, we're getting pumped. I was like, this is just It's bullshit. Anyway, a couple of lads are behind us and start chirping some of the boys, right? And I'm white line at the best of times, but if I'm sitting, being dropped, watching the team, not playing well, I'm an angry customer. So I hear the chirp and don't look back, and I start chirping back, but watching forward, like watching the ground. But they'll be like, I don't know, Luke Shield, you can't play, and I'll be like, I don't know. I was going back at him, but never looked around behind him. Anyway, it escalated, kept getting higher and hotter and hotter and hotter. Anyway, without too much details, those two boys ended up getting escorted away by security. Right?
Did you snitch?
No, I may be many things. I've never snitched on anyone. I was enjoying it. It was like it gave me a bit of energy. Yeah. Anyway, it had escalated from me watching the ground to me watching them, and we were going fully at it. Right, but blah blah blah. They get escorted away. I'm giving them the send. I'm giving them the aim on the camera. Right? These ones. See you later, boys. They get escorted off. Anyway, West Coast out of the finals. Got a big trip booked in that year. GWS done in the prelim. So we went to the best and fairest. We left the best and fairest early that year. Chris Maston and I never told this publicly actually. We left halfway through the B&F straight to the airport onto a plane.
Yeah, right.
You could have been winning it though.
Yeah, well, that would have been good. Top 10 would have been nice in my career. We get on a plane to Austin and it goes through Sydney. Right, so we go Perth, Sydney, and then Sydney stops. There's a bit of a layover. Get back on. Anyway, we're in the emergency exit aisle, so we've got the nice leg room. Anyway, I'm watching the Sydney people get on, and I see these fucking two blokes. Right, it's the two blokes that have been lifting it.
That's good,
right? And they fucking, kid you not, just like at the footy, slot in the row behind us. Right, and you know who's with them? Toby Greene. So Toby Greene, his two, I'm assuming best mates, were the lads that we were having a little scrap up in the stands with. Does any of that ring any bells whatsoever?
Yeah, I remember the plane. Yeah, I remember getting on the plane and I think it was Charlie. He might have said, yeah, fuck, I was having a go at him a couple of weeks ago.
It was fucking
their hearts would have sunk.
It was piss funny. It was awkward, mate, because again, I couldn't care less about that stuff. It was hilarious, but it was just like, oh fuck, we've got an 18-hour flight or a 10-hour flight over, and Greeny's with them as well.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
you'll have to ask him about.
Well, then they would have told me what happened in the stands. Yeah, that does sound like them, to be fair.
Do you, mate? You got a good, strong group of mates from when you grew up that get up your footy and watch you back in Victoria?
Yeah, definitely. Got a great crew, and they love, especially I guess the finals, sort of when everyone gets right around it and make the trips up. Or we played a few big ones at the G, and they'll all get together and head in together. But yeah, that it does. They can get vocal for sure, especially when you get a few of them together.
Yeah, I just remember pissing myself, absolutely fucking like losing my shit. Basically.
Do you remember apart from your friends harassing you, do you remember playing on Scully much?
Yeah, I remember a couple of times. Like I don't remember the game, how the games panned out, but I do remember it was tough. Yeah, I remember you punched me in the back a few times. I reckon.
Did you?
Yeah,
Sounds
I fucking
about
hate that.
I love that you hate that. What was I doing? Punching in the back.
Well, just when they do that,
Yeah.
that infuriates me, because you can't really turn around and do anything, and I do remember. Yeah,
not this. I'm not saying this about you, but
there's no moments.
That's usually what happens when someone can't keep up with you. They've got to use those sort of tactics.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's
yeah. Do you look? I remember playing on you as well. No real specific moments either, but you play like a key forward, but you're not that high. Is that something you recognise, that you actually play like a taller forward rather than a smaller forward?
Well,
you do the small forward stuff, I've realised, but
I enjoy flying for marks, and I think I'm good one-on-one. So I will try and go for my marks, but I guess it's just something I enjoy.
Is there any craft to that sort of high flying mark thing, or are you just jumping and hoping for the best?
Well, you got to have. I guess you got to believe that you can take the mark. I'm not the tallest bloke, so got to get my timing right, get my footwork right. That's for sure. But yeah. Oh, there's certainly craft to it. Yeah. And
Like, are you planning it? Because eyes. When you see them happen, the eyes are always up. So you're not like scoping out. Okay, I'm going to put my knee in that guy's back. You're sort of just.
No. That's probably a bit of just innate footy sense, that sort of stuff. The guys that are really good at it sort of got a sense of awareness and where they are, but it's not something you practice a whole heap, to be honest. A few of the bigger boys practice it a bit at training, but no, it's just, I guess it's one of those footy things.
Must feel pretty good.
Yeah, it does. I think you got to go for about 5 to get 1, so it's a bit of just a few efforts.
Are you old enough now to reflect on sort of the journey of like the evolution of you as a player, and maybe like a mentality wise? You're captain of the footy club now. You certainly weren't as an 18-year-old, and you've had your ups and downs on the field. You're old enough now to sort of reflect and see the change that you like as a person.
Yeah, definitely. When I was 18, I was probably the furthest one away out of anyone to being captain. And it's not something I ever thought about. My first 4 or 5 years, I was nowhere near it. Immature and stuffed up a lot off field as well. So had to grow up a lot. Taken the last 4 or 5 years, taken a lot more serious and in terms of my leadership and realizing that I got some influence over the group and I should put it to good use, and something I've worked on. But I have certainly seen evolution and something I've worked on and become more aware of.
You look like this year as a captain, you've gone to another level from afar. Do you feel like the leadership elements like been positive for your performance?
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess I sort of worry less about my performance now. Like, it's more about how is anyone struggling? How's everyone going? How's individuals feeling? We've got a lot of guys playing really good footy, building them up. And, that was sort of my goal internally at the start of the year, was like, you'll get like 4 or 5 guys have career best years. I want like 10 or 11 guys to have career best years and, create a really positive environment for them, which I think we're sort of building at the moment. And some of the young boys are having, awesome years. And I guess that's what's sort of energising me. And, I guess even the last few weeks, we've had a lot of inside 50s, and I'm just a result of that. So I sort of look at it like that, and creating a great environment to get the best out of yourself.
Do you feel like that team element's always been in you though? I know you've matured and grown and got older, and all that stuff's pretty natural, but like that stuff you're talking about is like being a team guy. Like, has that always been a part? Like, has that been something that's, whether you knew how to show it or not, like that winning element, wanting the team to win?
Yeah, I think that's always been something that's come really natural, and something I've, it's probably why I had a lot of respect amongst the group. Guys internally knew that, but I was, stuffing up off field or on field, and so people externally probably go, well, he's just a fucking idiot. But I was, I wanted to win as much as anyone, and I sort of mentioned before, like throughout those years, I probably put too much weight on myself and winning and losing, and just like how that's how my mood would be determined throughout the week, and losing finals and stuff like that, it'd burn me for ages. But so I guess it's always been there. Yeah.
Was there a point where you decided, like, hey, I'd like to be the captain now? And you said you were far from it early days, but is there a moment that you go, okay, I'm gonna? I know people don't like campaign for it, but you have to make it be known.
They do. So you might not admit it, but mate,
you go around the boys.
Mate, they've got to get votes somehow.
Yeah.
Suddenly start getting boys around for dinner. Greenie's never had the boys around. So there's all the first year boys are coming to Toby's house.
Greenie's house.
Yeah. Did you or not? Did they come around?
Yeah, they come around. Well, they would have come around anyway.
Yeah,
so.
Good. Curry night.
Yeah, no, it's not curry. I get, probably only in the last 2 or 3 years, to be honest. Like, I was, captain with Cogs and Chook last year, and vice captain before that. With so like didn't happen. It was pretty recent, to be honest. I thought, maybe I could do a good job and be good at it. As I said, like the 4 or 5 years leading into that, like probably Leon encouraged me to get better at it and actually own it and even come in the leadership group. So it's something I've just sort of worked on for a while now, but it's been a slow burn.
I saw some story, or maybe you spoke about it before. The feedback, for use of a better word, from fans and people watching on at ground. It's not always the best when your family is around.
Yeah.
Did your nan come along to the game? Maybe the grand final.
I reckon was it the grand final? It might have been. It was one of the Richmond ones at the G. It might have been 2017 prelim, because it was about 96,000 Richmond supporters and 1,000 Giants. It was like, it was one of the most. It was an awesome atmosphere, but like it was probably the most dominated crowd ever in terms of AFL game.
Yes.
Because the prelim, you got all the fans. It's not all the corporates.
Good point.
So and I used to, I still do cop a bit from the crowd, but that was probably in its prime. I think Grandma was a bit disappointed with a few Richmond supporters. Yeah, she can get pretty mean as well, Grandma.
She gave a bit of feedback.
She wasn't happy. Yeah,
Responding to people.
Wow, she's not. She would have been about 89 at the time, so she couldn't really she can't raise her voice a whole heap. But she's a bit disappointed.
Do you hear it? I mean, you spend a bit of time in the goal square. I used to bit of feedback on bald head, fat rig. What are you copping from the crowd these days? Does it affect you?
That certainly doesn't affect me. Most of it's pretty. To be honest, I hear it, but I don't acknowledge it or like take anything in. To be honest, like I'm thinking about where the ball's about to go. But I mean, it sort of depends where you are. I think
you'd be able to hear at some games with not a 90,000. If there's not, you'd be able to hear.
Yeah, you can definitely hear it. It's just like I don't take a whole heap in. Most of it's pretty funny.
What about when you're lining up? Because like you've slotted goals, or you kick shots anyway from right near the boundary on set shots. You able to just sort of put that aside, or does that get you at all?
Nah, not at all in those situations. It's like I'm just worrying about my routine, and I pretty much don't hear anything.
Have you had much fan interaction?
No, not really. I'm not like a big celebrator either, like with the crowd or anything like that. So, no, I haven't, to be honest.
Still remember the day down at Tassie. I had 2 fans follow me from end to end, telling me that I was powering the entire city of Hobart with the solar panels on my head. And they continued their feedback on social media for about 3 weeks. I actually still speak to them. Good mates with both. It was time in goal square. Where do you play? Like you're a forward. Is that where you play your best footy? Do you play there? I'm not going to talk about the back line. Like, do you see yourself ever moving back up into the guts?
Nah, I think I'm done with it. Like, I enjoy going to centre bounces and trying to do a little bit more of that and add, sort of gone away from it for a bit, but trying to bring it back in a little bit more this year. It's a good way just to break it up as well. But I'm a forward through and through, and I will be till I'm done, I reckon.
What's the best game of footy you've ever played? AFL or junior?
Best game. Juniors don't count. You get some good ones there.
I heard potentially he kicked 6 goals in the last quarter. And they did win the game.
That one was a good one. Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
That against Xavier. It was for Wesley in year 12. It was a good day. Yeah. I had all my mates and the whole school there in the crowd kicking to that end. So it was a good day.
They moved you forward in the last.
I think I was cramping, so I went and sat full forward and just, I think I kicked 5 in the last. It was a great day.
What about AFL level? You gotta have a game that's like, that was good.
Oh, Yeah, probably last
Still
year.
humble.
No. Well, kicking 7 last year was, that's the best day, and had a bit of the footy, so we lost, so that doesn't really count.
True. Hardest opponent, guys that you reflect over your career, guys that have been really difficult to match up on.
Yeah, I had some bloody good ones over the journey. Like, always had great battles with Dylan Grimes. He's tough and quick and
He's tall.
a lot taller than me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he certainly makes it hard for you. Even guys like when Adelaide were flying like 17, 18, 16. Luke Brown, who not many people would know or would recognise, but always struggled on him. They always beat us, but
Real dour type operator.
he
Luke
did
Brown.
did not care about the footy. No. He was bloody good. There's one every week. So, but yeah, they're some of the. Oh yeah, there's a lot, to be honest. Like, yeah.
What about you? What about a bunny? You got a bunny?
Do it.
Nah, because I'll moz myself.
Just say Scully.
Just say Will Scully.
Yeah. Scully's absolute pleb. I reckon you're like, I don't know if it's misunderstood or whatever it is, but like, I don't think people get to see Toby Greene. They see him on the footy field, and there's probably not a lot of other attention other than that. What sort of bloke are you? What are you doing outside of footy? What's
Yeah, pretty relaxed. Like,
sound like it? Doesn't sound like much bothers you.
yeah. No, I love my travel. I'm doing my MBA at the moment, so just
Nice.
trying to knock that off. Just slowly. So I did my commerce degree and then getting into that and enjoy that. Travel. Love the beach. Love a bit of surfing.
I hear you get in a suit, get into the city in here, do a few deals.
Yeah,
Matty
every
DeBoer
now
Co.
and then. Yeah,
Athletic Ventures.
Yeah, Matty DeBoer's been really good, and I've found that super interesting. And then I got my dog Oreo. We spend a bit of time together, and then so just sort of pretty relaxed though, and enjoying all those things.
Has there been a time, spoke about the inaugural team, and that has there been opportunities to come home and has there been real times where you've had to consider being here or not?
Oh, there's been opportunities, no doubt, but no, I think I was like when I signed my 6-year deal, like I didn't really entertain anything, to be honest. Like, I was pretty happy, and manager Paul Connors was, like, he didn't really tell me anything other than, you got interest if you want to explore it, and I was like, well, I'm pretty happy, and I want to have a crack at winning one here, and that was it really. So never been close to leaving, to be honest.
Do you remember much of the? Remember the AFL? I think Amazon did a series. GWS was pretty prominent in that. Do you remember much of that? Was that like a...
Yeah, it was on Cogs.
Yeah,
it was pretty much on Cogs. Yeah, I remember it, like, because I would have hated it. Like, as Cogs, I would have fucking found that an absolute nightmare. But I've never actually watched it, but just because we didn't have a great year, and
In hubs that year?
yeah, it was a tough year for Cogs, tough year for the club. So yeah, I haven't rewatched it, but I just remember thinking, like, someone following me with your camera the whole time, I would have hated it so much.
This current group of GWS players, the group you're leading as captain, the goal is a flag, I'd assume. It'd be the same for everyone around the country, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, even the last month, I feel like we starting to play some decent footy and got 9 games to go. Probably have to win 7 to try and make finals. So that's where we want to start. But
Adam Kingsley, what's it been like?
it's been awesome. Yeah, he sort of brought in whole new footy program, whole new coaches. The way we're playing's different to how I've ever played. Whole new system. It's been really enjoyable and created a really positive environment, and enjoying it.
You have you had to change facilities along the way? Have you been in? What's the journey been like building that club? Have you boys moved around a bit?
Well, we started in Blacktown.
Yes.
Just in like the Mountables and we were training on a baseball field for a bit there, which it's probably not ideal circumstances for performance, but that was just how it was, and we didn't really know any better. We got drafted and realised our dream, so just go along with it. But the club moved to the Sydney Olympic Park in the end of the second year maybe, or and move into our new facility where we've been at now. So that was huge, and I think it was big for the club because it would have struggled, I reckon, if we had stayed in Blacktown just with facilities and things like that. But
getting crowds to games.
Yeah, well, and which we play next door to where we train now, and it just makes life a bit easier. But it's been good.
We're almost done. I forgot to touch on around that grand final time. Clearly, all a great week leading up into it. But one really big thing that I remember about the time was the song, Big Sound.
Yeah,
that became a full meme.
As players, did you have any understanding what was going on?
Yeah, I kind of remember it. Like, I remember the boys would have... Yeah, the boys... Yeah. I do sort of remember because I reckon we're playing it on, like, the bus and the plane. Like, we're probably playing it on the plane that night. I remember Shorey kept singing it. That's just my big memory. Like,
Do you remember that grand final week? Like, the lead up?
Yeah. It was...
It sounds like you've wiped the GF from your mind a little bit.
I remember the grand final parade wasn't great for me because I was sitting on this car going 5 k's an hour just getting abused. I was like, fucking hurry up. Like most people, it's a pretty fun, enjoyable ride, but I was just Richmond supporters and because I'd been suspended the week before and been in the media a bit, they were just hounding me.
That's low hanging fruit, though.
Can you hurry this fucking car up? So
who are you sitting next to?
Jez. Like,
Cameron.
So he wouldn't have enjoyed it either. It was. I mean, it was a great week. As I said, it was just monumental achievement for the club, and I do remember it was the first time footy in Sydney. For us, that everyone coming up to you and saying good luck, well done, which you don't get a whole heap of.
Yeah, we had Collingwood we had Hawthorn and Collingwood. Not a lot of great feedback coming from either of those sides either, mate. So it's probably not that too rare. Mate, that's done and dusted. We from us anyway. We're gonna get to social media. No, not social. Social, yes. But I want to finish our little bit and say good luck for the year. We appreciate your time.
No, appreciate it.
You've heard enough questions from Dan and I, though. Let's get into some of the questions from our audience.
Yeah. Social
media. You impressed with that?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Word lingo.
Thought you might be a bit impressed. All right, Scotty McKenzie, 71.
Do you feel that the responsibility of captaincy has changed you? If so, how?
Nah, I don't think it has. I reckon I've sort of been asked that before. Do you feel a lot more pressure? No, I don't. I just sort of haven't changed at all, really. I know I've got to be more aware of how others are feeling and try and, as I said, create a great environment, but not feeling pressured by it. But no.
What about pre-game rev up? Sorry, this isn't in here. I'm just how are you?
No, that's not my strength. I'm not great at that. Mostly just try and take the piss, or it's probably my big work on. Sometimes trying to get out a speech that just doesn't go how I thought it would.
Do you speak to the boys every week?
Yeah, most of it. Yeah,
some I've played under captains that would delegate. Give it to someone to get the boys up.
No, I do it most weeks. I got great guys like Cogs, Chook, Wardy, Tom Green. I do it most weeks, and as I said, my delivery can be better at times.
do they hang shit on you if it's bad?
Yeah.
Oh, they just laugh. Yeah, they try and take it seriously and go, "You fuck that up."
Freo Hub.
Why do you think the small forward role is the hardest position to play in the AFL?
Well,
yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, do you?
Oh, well, it probably is, yeah. I think high half forward's probably even harder, just in terms of work rate and limited opportunities. You got to nail, and you're not around the ball the whole time, so you don't get an opportunity to influence the game. So, and then if you got a guy trying to stop you who doesn't worry about the footy, it makes it even harder because you're sort of a byproduct of what happens in front of you.
Amos Theory.
Who was your biggest influence in helping you create the style of player you are on the field?
Yeah, there's been lots of guys along the journey. James McDonald, early days when I was, started at Giants, and he was a midfield coach and just teaching really good values and standards. And then like Stevie J's been really big along the way for some forward line staff. Leon as well had a huge part of that. Yeah.
Was it commonly known within the footy club that Dean Brogan looked like your mascot for quite some time? Well, he looked like the Port Adelaide mascot.
I didn't know that, no.
Thank you. Well done. Dean Beazle _.
How do you enter beast mode at the end of games so very often to be in the right place and the right time to deliver and win games?
Beast mode.
No, I don't think about it, to be honest. I just, I guess, trying to get to the next contest and influence it.
I'm adding more in it as we go. Sydney rivalry, Battle of the Bridge. Is that real?
Yeah, it is. No, it's good. It's there is a healthy rivalry there. There's a bit of feeling in the last game as well. So it's certainly there. Yeah.
Brett Kirk medal awarded by Brett Kirk, who is the assistant coach at Sydney. Don't even comment because I don't want this clipped up anywhere. But Toby Greene's won the best on ground, kicked 2 of the last 4 goals of the game, win the game by under a goal. Incredible stuff. But Brett Kirk is the assistant coach at Sydney. So they've just got done flat.
Yeah, he's flat.
I tell you right. I tell you what, Kirky was not happy.
Well, I'm actually like mates with him. I've met him a fair few times, and I saw that he copped a bit for that. He actually sent me a message because he must have been copping a bit, but I didn't think anything of it, to be honest. So.
There
you go. That's probably...
What about... I got to throw another one in here. All Australian blazer. We had an incident. Brad Shepherd is all Australian.
He was bloody good. He was hard to play on as well, actually. He's one that I missed.
Yeah. He didn't get his blazer because of the AFL's incompetency to deliver.
Pretty much.
During COVID. It's sort of like led us down this journey, and we eventually got him his blazer. We arranged it. But then we discovered that you only get the one. And you just get the extra badge on it, which sort of blew our minds. We just thought you got a new blazer every time. Where's yours at the moment?
You're a 2-time All-Australian player?
Yeah, it's at Mum's house. I think the COVID second one as well. Yeah, I don't reckon that it has been.
You haven't got your second thing
Well,
on
I
there?
don't think it's been repatched or whatever.
All right, well, we'll make that happen.
To the list, please, boys. Seriously, I don't know how much more
we'll come past your mum's, pick it up. We'll make sure it gets a patch on there.
Dean B. No, the J. Jaden.
Please explain what your feelings were watching the prelim final. Oh,
we touched on it a bit, but not really. It didn't give us too much. I mean,
which one?
Well, no, yeah, true. No, he's probably talking about 2019. But, I mean, 2017.
Oh, 29. Yeah, watching it. Yeah. As
you spoke about it. You didn't want to let the boys down. You spoke about it. AJ.Looker.
If you had to be stuck on a deserted island for 3 months with one other person, who would it be?
Think hard about this, mate, because...
Georgia. I better say Georgia.
Hello, Georgia. Nice to see you. I hope you're watching along. Scotty _Tomo.
What does being part of the GWS club DNA for future players mean to you?
Ooh, Scotty, going deep.
Yeah, no, that's... Well, as I said, I want to create like the best environment possible to get the best out of yourselves and it's the best career you can have. So it does mean a lot to me. Yeah, I've trying to install that now, and I think we've got a great young crop coming through that, they sort of remind me when I was their age. They're really tight, and I think there's some really good players that you'll see, and they put a lot of work in.
Eggman.
How do you like your eggs cooked?
Don't cook eggs too much, but
you don't have to cook them. Well, when you go to a cafe, what's your order?
Well, I change it up. It's either scrambled or poached.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a changer.
Yeah.
It goes both
I knew
ways.
you'd say scrambled.
Huh?
I knew you'd say scrambled.
Really?
It seemed like a scrambled eggs guy.
Mate, we're done and dusted. Did you have fun?
Yeah, that was good. Thanks for having me.
Our patrons, we're going to have one more story from Toby Greene after this, so stay tuned. If you want to join up to that, BackChat studios.com.au, you can find all the gear over there. A big thank you to our sponsors, our supporters, Fleet Network, powering the podcast this year, Swimply, Whippersnapper Whisky, Margaret River Roasting Co. I reckon we could almost hook Toby up with almost something from each one of these sponsors, by the way. Swimply, get him a pool. Whippersnapper, give him some whiskey. I reckon he'd enjoy that. Margaret River Roasting Co. We'll make sure it's extra hot. BlueBet, gamble responsibly. Shelter Brewing Co. beer company. I mean, you like this podcast.
Oh, the coffee
right?
beans would be great. Margaret River, that'd be sensational.
Very good. We'll get some of those. Very good. Leadable cameras. We'll either get him to fight Lidio or we can get him some
He's the
equipment.
owner of the shop. Yeah. He's a black belt.
He's a black belt karate expert.
Yeah.
You got any martial art degrees or qualifications?
No qualifications, but I rate myself, yeah.
BackChatPodcast.com.au, all of it there. Patrons, all of the jazz. Toby, thank you, mate. Thank you, our partners. And stay tuned for one more story from Tokyo.